Testing 1, 2, 3. Audio test 1, 2, 3.
Carolyn, yeah.
I'm so used to that.
Hot mic, hot mic.
Mic is always on.
I'm so used to that. You have no idea.
We used to do that all the time, you know, we had trees up there. Oh, thanks.
That's my fault. Audio's working. Audio is on.
Steve, you don't care. Stay busy. People are stressed. Students are stressed.
Tidal wave is coming, buddy. Busier than we've ever been. With a different variety of.
I go in like talking.
It's been tough.
You tell me what's best for you.
You know, on campus with Petri dishes, is it Walker Medlin Hall? PCSE?
There's really no good scenario.
People just come in there.
I just have to try to move quickly and not get in front
They're
of
trying, they'll still. Because of social distancing, they're not making conferences. They used to make conferences, that's freshman year, right?
It's so quiet, yeah. We would like to welcome Nate Brooks.
I'm short.
Thank you for coming, and before we start our meeting, I think you have some important business.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to be here. And I think with social distancing, we'll just ask the 3 new members to please stand. And we will do this social distancing style. You guys are okay? And I think the easiest way for us to begin your term of service, first of all, is to say thank you for offering yourselves. Serve the next generation who are represented here this evening. One of the most important things we can do is train our child in the way they should. So thanks for your service. So if you will raise your right hand and state your name when I say I, state your name. Do solemnly swear
You solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Tennessee
of the State of Tennessee
and the Charter and the ordinances
Charter and the ordinances
of the City of Cleveland, Tennessee,
of the City of Cleveland, Tennessee.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as a member of the Cleveland City School Board
as a member of the Cleveland City School Board
of said City of Cleveland,
and City of Cleveland,
to which I have been duly elected
to which I have been duly elected,
and which I am now about to assume,
which I am now about to assume,
to the best of my skill and ability,
to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the law.
according to the law.
Congratulations. And will be on file at City Hall, and we'll make sure that copies of these are sent to you for your personal files. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Board members, do you have family members here tonight? No, Carolyn, no, you're probably playing.
They're playing ball and cheerleading and.
John just made a quick exit. Okay.
Stacy and my 2 kids, they're leaving because she has a soccer.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We're leaving because we can.
Enjoy, Steve.
Nice meeting you.
Go with me somewhere.
Oh, he couldn't wait.
Come back,
No, I got it right. Thank you.
That's the whole reason he came tonight. And Dr. Bercy, thank you. Tyler, I believe you're going to start our meeting for us.
Welcome, everybody. I believe we're going to start with our moment of silence.
Uncle Max is up in here right now saying, what in the bunch of goobers?
I did too.
It's, I'm afraid of that right
And
now.
after reflect. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is an exciting evening. I'm starting a new school year and we have new board members and we have old board members that are really elected, so you're not old. Just Mary, I bet it's fine. You have in front of you the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the regular agenda, approval of the minutes from the August 3rd board meeting, approval of the second reading of the policies listed, and position request for the 2021 school year, and the DC field trip addendum. Would anyone like to remove anything from consent or have questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, the second, Carolyn will cover it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very good. All right, the next thing on our regular agenda I get to do, Dr. Dyer has honored Cleveland City Schools as being named a superintendent to watch for 2020 by NSPRA, right? You want to tell us a little bit about the organization, Dr. Dyer?
Sure. The National Schools Public Relations Association is made up of school communications people from across the United States, really from outside the United States as well. And Julie and Kelly Kaiser sent in a nomination, and I still don't know what they put in that nomination. So, but they sent in a nomination, and the selection committee picks up to 25 superintendents a year with 5 years or less experience. That's part of what they do as superintendents to watch. So it deals with communications and the things that we're all collectively doing here in Cleveland City Schools, not just me thing, it's an us thing. And we really have tried to up what we're doing in the field of communications over the last few years. And I'm just proud of the team and what we do to promote the good things happening in Cleveland City Schools. And sometimes they're not good things that we have to deal with as well.
Well, I'm not gonna make you brag about yourself, but we read the press release, but I'm gonna highlight some of them if you all will humor me here. Under Dr. Dyer's leadership, Cleveland City Schools has launched multiple initiatives that have required extensive communication with the Cleveland community. From the blended learning and digital enhancement project that provided student technology devices to the rezoning efforts required in Kenny's Creek, communication has been a cornerstone of all our projects during your tenure, and you just barely squeaked in under the 5 years.
Yeah, you did, I know.
Even with these accomplishments, you continue to push Cleveland City Schools forward by making communication one of the 4 areas in the Cleveland City Schools adopted strategic plan. We're proud of you. We always are, but this just highlights many of the good things that you brought to our school system. And I know you say it's teamwork, but team's got to have a lead. So congratulations. And I have this beautiful plaque to give to Dr. Dyer for him to hang in his office. Do that.
Thank you, ma'am, I appreciate that.
And thank you for representing Cleveland City Schools and leading the way for us.
John asked him about congratulations, no, and I said, but the main thing is we don't want to have to watch you lose.
That's right. No pressure.
That's on the plaque anywhere, so.
That's right. That's right.
So thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Anybody else?
I bragged on him at Rotary today. Did you watch the Zoom meeting?
I did not today,
You
I
missed
know.
it then. We weren't surprised. That's a wonderful honor and you deserve it.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Your communication is excellent. If we have a fender bender in the parking lot, we know about it 10 minutes later. Your communication, and I know Julie does a lot of it, but it's very, very good.
It's, like I said, there's a proof of us that have to get on it, so you have to stay on top of communication, that's for sure.
Well, I think that's where the public in the community have confidence in the school system when they feel like they've been communicated with,
Sure.
whether they like what we do or not.
Right.
They know that you're putting the information out there and they can read it and be knowledgeable, and that's just what we all want. So Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, your update, Dr. Dan, Patrick Dan.
It's okay, it's okay. I'll take this off so you can hear me a little better. So the update for today, several things. First of all, I want to say welcome back to our returning school board members and congratulations on your re-election. It's great to have you back and today. Thank you for agreeing to serve and thank you for joining the school board and being part of the big decisions we have moving forward to benefit our students and our community. So thank you and congratulations and good work with the school board who understands, what we do and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. So thank you very much. Just a quick update, Ross Elementary and Yates Primary. I know that you've been in the know as far as everything goes, but just to say publicly, I'm very glad that we were able to work toward putting Mrs. Stone as the one principal in charge of both Yates Primary and Ross Elementary on the retirement of Mike Collier. He is not leaving for another few weeks, but his departure, with his departure upcoming, wanted to make sure we had a good month of transition, and that's going to allow Mrs. Stone to build those bridges, to do the things that she needs to do. And also, we've had a good number of folks apply for that open assistant principal. We've had over 22 people apply for that position. So she is narrowing down that list of interviews, and we'll be conducting those in the near future, and hopefully we can announce something out on that before too terribly long. So anyway, that's going to be a good plan. As you know, the schools will remain separate the rest of the school year. Sometime during the second semester, we'll form an exploratory committee to look at what it might look like to possibly bring those schools together under one school number and ID. But that'll take some time. We'll have to really get into the weeds as far as that goes and all the pieces with that. So we'll make sure that you're updated as we get into that and go forward. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency held a COVID-19 tabletop exercise. They did this for every core region of the state. So Southeast core, Northeast core, so forth. I took part of that a couple Fridays ago, and really it was a neat time to be on basically a Zoom call with TEMA and K-12 leaders from across our region, just running through scenarios, running through exercises of what do you do if this happens? What do you do if that happens? So I wanted to publicly say thank you to TEMA for doing that. That took time. They did that in 9 different core regions across the state. Each one took a couple of hours. So thank you to those folks for putting that together. The governor's office, commissioner's office, just really well done. Superintendent Study Council, we held that up in McMinn County, I think it was a week ago, on a Friday. That's our regional meeting we hold once a month. A lot of the discussion revolved around COVID-19, and it was good to hear that we're all dealing with the same type of issues, whether you're in a very rural area or a more urban area, such as where we are. There are a lot of commonalities, and school districts are dealing with everything, dealing with staffing, dealing with substitutes, dealing with the same things that you're hearing about and reading about, and that I've been telling you about. Overall, things are going really well. But, we do have issues that we have to deal with on a daily basis. But we're all in that together. It's good to have another superintendent that you can just pick up the phone and call and say, okay, I know you dealt with this last week in Blount County. How did you handle this? And then get some ideas, and they'll call me. We'll do the same. So it's good to have that connection. You just know you're not out there by yourself. There are others in the same boat, and that really helps. Being it was Labor Day weekend, we just observed, I want to say thank you to our employees. I can't tell you how great of an employee system that we have in Cleveland schools, from our school cafeteria folk to teachers to administrators, bus drivers. But especially, I want to say thank you today. We were talking about it this morning, our school nurses. Our school nurses have really stepped up, and they're just doing an amazing job of staying on top of all the things happening in schools right now. They're working on weekends, making phone calls, our coordinated school health department. All these different people are working together so incredibly hard, but it's working. And, we only had a few cases come up in our system. We're doing a lot of the contact tracing, working with the health department. And, we have a really good system. The plan we have in place, the plan you approved, is working. We have to make a few adjustments as we go, but the plan is working, and it's working well. So The school nurses have a lot to do with that, along with all the other employees that are jumping in and doing that every day. Last thing I want to show is just some pictures from our visits to schools over the last few weeks. And, you know, I have a lot of pictures because I'm a picture person, but, you know, it's been really fun to get out and walk the hallways and see students in buildings. And I know right now you're not able to get out there and, you know, and visit like you want to, and hopefully that'll change. But from Friday night football games to visiting some elementary schools, that's Candy's Creek on the bottom left. Ross went over there and just saw some students in the gym. Mayfield in the right corner. The middle school, that's a group of girls shooting archery. We have a really strong archery program in the middle school PE. So they were shooting archery and they were trying to get me to shoot, but I had to make an exit. I had to go. Instruction was going on. I couldn't wait any longer, so I had to go. But I'm going to go back and shoot with those girls. That was a lot of fun to watch. And then in the middle, we had a group of students from our TVEC, Tennessee Valley Early College at the high school. They sent Dr. Elliott and I, no cards, just thanking us for basically having the program, and in the intern, you know, thanking you for approving the program dealing with TVEC. So very nice program where the students can, just as a reminder to everybody, they can graduate from high school with both an associate's degree and a diploma at the same time. And that's a really big deal. And I'm glad we have that partnership with Cleveland State. Tennessee Valley Early College. Tennessee Valley Early College, partnership with Cleveland State for that. So with that, that's my update, unless you have any questions or
Very good, thanks.
Thank you.
After that.
Exactly.
Okay, the race reopening task force.
Hey, Dr. Elliott.
Dr. Elliott.
All right, good evening, and it's good to be here before you tonight and to say that we've been through a successful month of school with our students in the traditional setting and also students in the virtual setting, and it's gone well, and I'm proud of our teachers, our staff, of everybody getting our students to school and at home and serving food. We're even serving those virtual students food as well. So it's taken, like Dr. Carr was saying, all our employees are doing a great job, and those nurses staying on top of things. Our reopening team has met a couple of times over the last month just to review our plan, making sure it's working. A couple of updates from the health department we've made and that kind of stuff. But all in all, it's been a really good first month, and we're excited to continue forward with it as we move into September. Our staff, like I said, has done a great job. That reconnection week, August 10th week, with 25% coming, that was a great opportunity. We heard a lot of positive comments from our teachers down to our students and families as well, coming in and learning the procedures and what the new procedures were related to the health regulations and checking temperatures and all that. So it was a good opportunity there. So we continue to monitor that. Our traditional enrollment is doing well. Our virtual enrollment, we had a few, the first couple of weeks, make a decision, a few families that they need to come back to traditional. So we allowed that, and then we did the cutoff a couple of Fridays ago so that we could have a semester with people dedicated to whichever setting they are. We'll reevaluate that as we go through the fall and then come to December, like we said, and take a look at how the best way to transition those students back into the traditional setting after Christmas if they so choose.
What's your numbers in the virtual school?
A little over 1,100 is where we are now. It was over 1,100 when we began. And again, like I said, once they got into it and some of the evaluations of what it was looking like, they decided that traditional was more the choice they wanted to do. And a few, of course, have chosen other alternatives as well. So, but we have several teachers talking about employees, those virtual teachers learning every day how to teach in an online setting and how to support and communicate is a huge piece. But all in all, we're excited about it. I did want to share some enrollment numbers tonight, and I actually talked to Mr. Cars, and he's the all things numbers guru over here. So I've asked him if he would just share an update on the general enrollment pieces related to the beginning of the year.
Sure, I appreciate it, guys, and I don't get to see you often just at the beginning of the year when it's testing, and so I appreciate getting to talk to you. We've got a dashboard this year to show you the numbers and let you look at it. we had a great online enrollment. You know, we use PowerSchool online enrollment each year, and we require that, but as you know, we also have in-person events, and we have to help quite a few people, but we had over 90% of families complete that online process. We had interpreters this year, and also some staff here at the AOB that were helping on the phone. So that was a real success in a trying time to not be able to bring those people into schools to finish that up. So through all of that, you can see the breakdown here. We've got the school numbers I've broken apart. You can see each school and then how many virtual students there are for the total. We kept all the virtual students in their home school for reporting purposes. And then you can see a great breakdown on the right over there for the black part of the bar is for virtual students, and then the blue part is for the traditional in each grade level. And it trended a little bit over 20% from the beginning, and then as Dr. Elliott said, kind of went down a little once we started as people moved back to traditional. We do have a total of 55, 54 at this moment. This dashboard's live, so it was actually 55, 55 when I was in my office a minute ago. So somebody's withdrawing somebody in the meantime to go to another school. So you can see we have 740 special ed and 720 for ESL. And if you scroll down a little bit, Cody, there's a breakdown by race and ethnicity that you might be interested in. About 54% white, 25 or 26% Hispanic, 12, little over 12% Black and African American, and then the rounding out of the other ethnicities and races. So we have a diverse population. And then if you go down a little bit lower, Cody, our economically disadvantaged right now is right at about 41%. Special ed right at about 13, and ESL right at about 13. So we've had a great start to the school year as far as enrollment and data. Real curveball with virtual school and getting all that done, but we kind of got our feet under us and got our numbers together. So,
Questions for him?
Did you see that most of the categories stayed fairly consistent with what we've experienced in the past, or did you see any spikes or deviations?
no, I would say the only thing that's trending, and it's been trending this way, is the ESL has been moving up each year, and then the Hispanic percentage moving up. So, but other than that, really not anything much different.
Did the class size get a little smaller in the traditional classes because of the virtual school program, or did it change it at all?
It depends on the school, just the way the staff was pulled, it just depended. Some schools stayed around the same, but there are definitely traditional classes that are smaller than they've been in the past.
So they kind of socially distanced, made it a little easier.
In those schools, I would say
Some of those
definitely,
classes, yes. But again, it depended on what grade level and where we needed extra support at the virtual classroom level too.
Middle school grades have a lot of virtual, don't they, it seems like. You said middle three, middle four.
They do, but they also, those are some of our largest cohorts, like our 8th grade class, my daughter's in that's the largest class, and they've moved consistently across the graph. I don't know what happened that year, but it's tough kids in 8th grade.
There seems to always be a cohort like that. Could you share this with us on these cards, and to the board about that?
Yeah, we can get it to Julie.
Right, and it's live, so once I get you the graph, you can check it. Whenever you look, that'll be that day's information.
Oh, okay.
Is it on the website?
No, we are talking about doing a data dashboard for the public. This would be through your Cleveland Schools login, just to keep it, the data behind it. But we are looking at doing a district one that will incorporate the strategic plan and all together. So, yeah, soon it will be okay.
If the student has to be out because they're sick or they've been exposed for say 14 days, how do they keep up with their assignments in the traditional program?
We'll hand that over to Dr. Elliott.
Yeah, so we have an attendance code, first of all, that we put in related to that, so that we identify and that flags it for the teacher when they log on to look to see it for their attendance, and so we're communicating that to them. And then the teacher is responsible to communicate with the family and the student to digitally access it to Google Meet in their core curriculum areas, so they log on and they can provide a lesson while the rest of the students are carrying on in the classroom. So that's one option. At the high school level, they're uploading their lessons in Canvas learning management system on a daily basis and providing feedback on through that process. So they're actually doing it digitally. If an individual does not have access to the digital components, then they communicate with the family and provide some printed options and leave it in front of the school and notify the family, and the family can drop by in the front of the school without coming into the building, of course, but to pick up the work to do that and then to stay in communication with the teacher. So that's part of that continuing learning plan. So again, talking about employees, our teachers are doing a wonderful job, because if they have 2 or 3 or sometimes a few more students out in quarantine, then they're managing students online on the computer while the rest of the students are here in the classroom. One day last week, went into the classroom and there was a student out, so the teacher put her computer on the student's desk, the one that was out, so you could see that student's face in the classroom with the other kids learning. So it's kind of neat to see the flexibility that our teachers are undergoing during this time.
So they do this daily, every day?
Yeah.
The virtual, is it the Florida school, and there's a bar that goes across the top to checks your progress? Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
How's that working out?
It's a progress bar. Yeah, and we have, again, like students in the traditional setting, in the virtual setting, we have students at different levels of pace right now. And that's part
The
of
bar
learning.
tells them where they're at.
It tells them where they are. So we're continuing to look at that. Our teachers meet with our BLADE facilitators who kind of champion this cause for us. And they're meeting regularly with those teachers and analyzing that. But we're in different spots, just like we would with a traditional individual student. Some students are knocking it out of the park. Others are still learning the process and we're still urging that learning process to take place. So we're monitoring that as we go. The last thing I was going to say in this is that next Monday, the 14th, is our next reopening task force. We continue to get together to monitor numbers, to monitor progress, to look at what else do we need to analyze and look at any health regulation changes. So the work is not done, it continues. And so we're kind of the continuing learning task force, I guess, now that we're open. So we're evaluating it every now and then. So next Monday is our next meeting with our task force.
Jeff, I noticed in the paper, I think it was yesterday, maybe even saw it in the news, that there's a group that's pushing the governor to go online until we have less numbers. Have you all looked at that or thought anything about it or what it would look like?
Well, of course, in our opening plan that we created, we have an online at home learning plan. And that would be if everybody went home, that we would be doing, like I was explaining that teacher doing with individual online, it would be their whole class or classes at that situation. So that's in place. However, like we said, thank goodness the last few weeks have proven to be very good weeks, and we haven't had to entertain that option. But if we were to get into a spot like that, we are prepared to do that.
And I would just add too, the governor has been adamant that it's a school district by district choice. So the LEA, that you as a school board have control over what we do in Cleveland City Schools. It would be, I think, I would be highly surprised if the governor made a different decision based on the feedback that may be coming this way right now as part of that concern. Nothing's impossible these days, but I would be very shocked.
So, what is the students' experience like? Have you heard any technical support issues from the students' perspective? And if so, how are you guys handling it?
Related to technical support, I know at the high schools, thank goodness, been able to get devices deployed to those individuals. Again, trying to work through technical support. As far as virtual school, we did have some students at the beginning who needed access to a device and needed some help getting online. So we had to give them a little bit of grace period because they were working on accessing Chromebooks or some kind of laptop. They were limited even out into the marketplace. So we were working with them. Our teachers and our BLADE facilitators have worked with them related to technical support. So there are some situations, but we're handling it one-on-one as we can. It hasn't been widespread that we've heard of. So as far as I know, it's been an individual situation where it's trying to one-on-one work with those as it comes available.
So is there a hotline or something that they can call or?
Well, they with the teacher, and then they can coordinate that with our tech department, innovation team. We have tech individuals at the elementary, middle, and high school level, and then they can communicate. And again, through a lot of it comes through our Blade facilitators. We have one at the high school level that looks at the blended learning piece and helps get the word out, whoever the person is, if they need to troubleshoot. There's one at middle school, and now we've got Ms. Phillips at the elementary level. So between the tech department and the Blade facilitators, but the main communication goes through the classroom teacher, and then they take it from there.
Have we heard anything more about the new Chromebooks, about when we might get them?
Dr. Baker?
Yeah, they're still slated to arrive sometime this month. So we hope by the second week of October, we're ready to give those out.
Well, that's good. I think we were afraid it would be December, weren't we?
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Elliott, for all your hard work. It's been a good year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Regular school year's gonna see me here.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about what we're doing today.
Okay, Dr. Dyer.
Okay, this month's focus for strategic plan, thank you, comes from the Safe and Healthy Schools area. And I've decided to update on school nutrition since we're a few weeks into school now. If you'll remember, the action steps include provide an efficient and effective nutrition program to support student success in and out of the classroom, as well as initiate school nutrition, student, faculty, and community satisfaction surveys. So just as part of the update, school nutrition actually started last year with implementing a tracking program to better understand daily participation at our schools. And by that, we mean the number of students who are purchasing, going through line, getting meal, and going through that process. The goal is to really find out why certain trends exist to help improve the meal planning. This started last year, we continue through the current strategic plan, just so we can continue to fine tune what it is that students are really interested in having for meals at the schools. And of course, you know, Reed, Supervisor School Nutrition does a fantastic job with that and make sure that we're staying on top of trends and make sure we're staying on top of things, as well as meeting all the federal and state regulations that go with that. So a new area of service that is cropping up now is the supper service. And this is new. We've always, well, not always, but for a long time, we've provided breakfast and lunch, but now we're able to provide a supper program for our students as well. And these students are eligible for a free supper grades K through 12. This is available currently for any students who stay after school for clubs or tutoring or athletics or for any reason really whatsoever. And that way they can have a nutritious meal 3 times a day if they choose to do so. And they can grab that meal and take it home with them and have a nutritious meal and make it home if parents work in the evening or whatever the case may be and they can't do that for them already. So pretty excited about that, and I know I'm looking forward to seeing the data on that and see how that unfolds and really gets going.
When will that start?
And it's already started. Gina, you want to talk about that?
It has already started. We've done a soft rollout with the supper program because we're so short-staffed right now and trying not to overwhelm our people, but provide as much as we can for our students. So we have done a soft rollout with that program. I think the 17th, August 17th was the first rollout for the elementary, and today was the first rollout for secondary ones.
So brand new,
How
and it's
do
gonna be
you
exciting
plan
to
for
see.
that? I mean, how do you know how many students are gonna show up or?
Some of it's kind of a shot in the dark, but rosters help for after-school programs, so it gives us an idea where to start.
So working closely with the principals, and work closely with the leaders of the programs that are out there and figure out, hey, we need possibly 30 meals for these group of kids that will be after school today and such. So exciting. So we'll see where that goes and make sure we update you on this as the system progresses.
Did the teachers who stayed get free supper too? You got left over?
No, it's just for the students.
They have to go home and cook. They're gonna go somewhere. Regarding Sodexo, some of you have asked about Sodexo and how things are going so far. And I just anecdotally have been out and visited middle school and high school during lunch shifts and talked to teachers and staff and students that are going through the lines. And I'm hearing great things, I'm hearing great reviews. Dr. Lang sent me pictures of her lunch the other day, so, that's a good thing from the middle school principal, to be sending me pictures, she said, this is what I just got from the cafeteria, from Sodexo, so proud of what they're doing as well, in working with Gina and our staff that are at the schools, seeing a lot of happiness there, so reviews are positive. And quite honestly, the world, just like everything else in K-12, the world of school cafeteria has changed drastically. Procedures have had to change about how we go through the cafeteria lines, how we go about making sure that meals are served properly, and using all of our protection to make sure that we're, not cross-contaminating and other things. But I'll tell you what, the staff and students have adjusted well. I was at White Bower the other day and watched a group of kindergarten and first grade kids go through the line, and very orderly, they're spread out, they're doing exactly what they're needing to do. And I didn't see anyone drop their milk or anything else. So I'm sure it happened, but I didn't see it when they were going back to their classroom to eat. So good things are happening. And I do have some pictures I want to share as well, just to kind of give you, first of all, we're going to stop here. USDA has extended the funding for free student meals. We're announcing that tonight. You've seen that. Other school systems are announcing it. We're announcing it officially tonight, that we're part of this program as well. And basically what it's going to allow us to do, and I'm putting this in very layman's terms, the program we were offering in the spring for students 0 to 18 continues now through December the 31st, unless it gets extended again. So basically, anybody in Cleveland, Bradley County, if they want to come by a school site between 9 and 10 a.m. each and every day, Monday through Friday, that schools are open, we will be providing free meals for those. They do not have to be a Cleveland City School student. They can just be 2 years old, their mom and dad wants to bring them by school to get a free meal, and they can do that. So that is something that we're very proud to offer and extend to the community. So again, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., any of our schools, 0 to 18, welcome to come by and get that meal. But we're not doing the bus service right now. We don't need to do that, but we are doing that at school level. Anything I missed there, or that layman's terms?
No, that was perfect. We're just gonna offer it at the same virtual pickup sites that we have for all of the schools open.
Sure. So very glad we can do that. Very glad USDA was able to extend that using their rules. And hopefully that'll be extended again, but at least we now can do that through the end of the year. Now for some pictures, starting with the middle school. This is the middle school. I know that you probably have not had a chance to go by and see the Did You Know Cafe.
I'm not allowed.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll work that out. We'll take you over sometime. But you can see that they've done some rebranding, put signs up, and that's Chaz actually. He was here about a week ago in that left picture, and just visiting with folks. But again, that's, of course, no students are in there like when we were there, but looks great, smells great, and glad to see that it's going well.
Let me ask you this, I think it was Twitter yesterday, they had the menu for this week.
Well, that's coming up.
Okay.
You'll see that.
Does that change weekly?
It does.
That's good.
So this is the high school, again, some pictures from the high school, just showing some different ways the lines are set up and some signage that's out there now as far as the setup in the high school goes. And we'll go to the next picture, and there's your menu.
Yeah, that's
So
solid. That's
the
pretty neat.
menu from the Taste Sport program at the high school is posted. This week is Mexican week, so they're featuring Mexican entrees and various food, and also the regular things that you might find. So again, I'm hearing great things, so that's great. I'm glad that we're seeing hopefully participation go up and those kind of things that you were looking for when we decided to go with Sodexo to try this and see how all unfolds. The proof will be in participation numbers. So we'll know a little bit later down the road, it's still a little bit unfair to judge right now. So we'll need to check that as we go and make sure that we're seeing what we hope to see.
Is your favorite still pizza?
Yes.
That's one of my favorites too, so it's hard to go wrong.
I have a granddaughter that's a senior, and she was at my house Sunday, and she just kept talking about how great the food was. And this is the first time I think she's really ever eaten very much, but she's very excited about it. And she is a really picky eater, so.
How do you think? Can you see a difference?
Oh, yeah, and I actually sent out a student survey that says the exact same thing, that people are really noticing the difference, and they really like the school lunches this year.
Okay.
Glad to hear it.
That should help our attendance, because they won't want to miss those.
Well, and I've been back and I've talked to the cafeteria staff and things, and it's a different setup. It's a different way of doing things because you do have Sodexo staff mixed in with our staff, and it's a little different, but it seems like things are going well, and I'm glad to see that, and hope to continue to see that as we build this relationship. But our elementary schools are also knocking it out of the park, and they're doing a great job, and the food quality is great there as well. The picture on the left is actually one of my favorites. It's from Arnold, and they have these placemats that are made for social distancing, so one Mustang eats here and on the table, and that's where kids can sit and have lunch. Of course, there's some of the lunch gurus and breakfast gurus at Blythe Bower there in the middle, and I always enjoy going out there and visiting with them. And then a picture from Kings Creek. And again, school nutrition doing a fantastic job and trying to hold up their part of the strategic plan and deal with COVID and everything else that's going on. So we're always looking for some additional staff members for that and some teachers in general. So I'll just do a little plug in there for anyone who may be listening and maybe be looking for a part-time position. We're in the business of hiring for school nutrition and other positions as well. Okay. Any questions on strategic plan update?
Dr. Dyer, when you hire people that have a can-do attitude, and it seems like mostly you do, that you keep throwing things at them and they keep catching it and you're doing something good with it. And the people that don't want to do that, they can move on. Because it's amazing what our people in school nutrition have done in the last, since March.
Yes.
But certainly all of our staff, but since you're highlighting our nutrition department, it's just, that's a lot of work. And they're not just fixing lunch and serving it anymore. They're packing lunches and they're social distancing. And they're having to do all that, and that's just amazing. I'm sure the children must notice that in the buildings. Cafeteria must be a nice, fun, welcome.
I tell you, school nutrition, I always try to go by the cafeterias because those folks are happy, they're smiling, and they're just having fun back there. And I know there are hard times too, don't get me wrong, but it's a fun place to go and it's for a few minutes when you get a chance. Or just out of the school or whatever the case may
Learn how to challenge.
be. They do, absolutely, they handle it well.
I got one question for you. Maybe Kelly, how we doing with subs? We're still short?
We were short before COVID.
Right, I know now.
So, yeah, we're still short. I mean, we'll take all the subs that we can. We have gotten several new ones in the last couple of weeks, to add kind of to our group, but yeah, we'll take anybody that wants to sub. We certainly could use them.
I was just gonna echo the phrase about in the nutrition department. It's much like we talked about last time. I think the bus drivers are often ones that children remember later in life.
Right.
It's the cafeteria ladies too. It's the staff in the cafeteria. And they're the ones that stick with them and that they remember for years to come.
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's our update.
Oh, well, then we're gonna move to Skylar's report.
All right, so as Dr. Elliott said, our Reconnection Week was quite a success. A lot of students very much enjoyed it, and they enjoyed being able to get used to our systems. We did start requiring masks as part of our COVID procedures, and we have a lot of good feedback on that. I'm sorry, I keep from breathing.
Yeah.
And not a lot of students are wearing them correctly. Not many students are refusing to wear them, so that's always a good sign. And there's a lot of positive feedback with all of our COVID procedures, including temperatures being taken twice a day. We're sanitizing everything, a lot of classrooms right after use. We also implemented our one-way hallways, and that's one thing that they tend to struggle with a little bit, but we are starting to communicate why exactly we're using the one-way hallways instead of just making it a rule, like do this, do that, no explanation. We are starting to give them an explanation, and we're going to, I think the plan was like putting up posters like with information explaining why we are using the one-way hallways. So after COVID, those are my COVID updates. Anna Ingram was elected our student council president. And Mariah Person was elected our vice president. Soccer, football, volleyball, and golf are really kicking it off. They've been having a really good month, all of them. And our theater program is getting back into place as well with auditions for Juliet's Ghost and 12 Angry Jurors. Seniors are starting college applications, clubs are starting back again with meeting after school. And like Dr. Dyer said, a lot of students are very much enjoying the lunch this year. I mean, the majority of them say that's a lot better than last year, and they're getting a lot more options now, so we're getting a lot of positive feedback on that.
Keep us informed about this lunches.
Oh, I will.
We're excited, and, you know, typically we visit the school every month, but we can't do that right now until we get to maybe the green, on our reopening plan, so
You know,
we're gonna miss that.
it's really nice we've got something that they can feel really good about. With all the difficulties with COVID and everything, that they can feel like, oh, we've got good meals though. Good.
Well, I will echo what Scott mentioned, you know, I've been in middle school and other places. And I love school transition time, when the students are on the hallway, we get to talk to people. And I was at the high school the other day during transition. I had to remind one student, pull your mask up. One out of the literally hundreds that roam by me. So that's a really good sign. And same thing with middle school the next day. I went to the same thing, just for observation, go out and see. And you know, I think people, you need to tell them why. We need to tell them why we're doing this. Not just this is the rule, but this is why we're doing one-way hallways. This is why we're doing the cafeteria this way. This is why we're doing these things. And teach, not just direct. And I'm glad that that's happening. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
And that, Hayes Martin rating come down. We're happy he's doing well, at least we hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing well with 80, so.
We'll get Skylar's name up there. All right, the next item is the site committee, and there's not a site committee report, but I'm just announcing to the board that I've appointed Charlie Cosgrove to be the site committee chairman. And so Charlie will communicate with us about future meetings or needs that we have. And Don, you,
Who's
Charlie.
the other two on it?
Who are the other two members of the site committee? I believe it's Krista and
Krista.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Helen,
And then Tom's an alternate. You were an alternate, but Tom's an alternate. Right. Of course, as you know, Nate, anybody can come to the site committee, any board member can come, but I think Helen can come to the site committee as well. So they're announced in advance, and it's kind of up to Charlie and Dr. Dyer and Hal to kind of coordinate those as needed. It'll be not as hard here, because we're not building something big.
That's true.
But maybe we can start something, you never know. So I just wanted to put that set for the board. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring up for the board?
The only thing I would add is, you know, we will be looking at a capital meeting, probably separate board meeting, sometime at the last of October. So just be mindful that you'll probably get an email, so we'll get an update of our 5-year capital handbook. It's time to do that again. So,
We call that our facilities
Right.
management meeting, and that's about completely to all the needs of Calvert.
And Howell's Field is starting to go down pretty good too.
yeah, no.
Going down.
Yeah, now we have to bush hog it again.
Yep.
The TSBA Southeast District meeting is Thursday, and as you know, Ms. Carolyn was nominated to be the Southeast Area Director. However, we've heard that someone is going to run against her from the floor, from the nomination on the floor. I don't know how to do that virtually. However, we will still get to vote if you're attending the meeting. So I don't have to ask you all to vote for Carolyn, but if you know any board members on other boards, please encourage them to support Carolyn. I think she would be a real asset to the TSBA board of directors and bring her vast experience in education, and I think that's really helpful. I think personally that TSBA does a great job, but I think on their staff, sometimes they lack professional educators. They have a lot of lawyers. Because in this world, you need to write all the policies and make sure you follow the laws. And that's not a bad thing either, but I think Carolyn could bring that perspective to the board. And I think she's
So when we zoom in, we'll be able to actually vote Thursday.
I don't know how they're gonna do
I
that.
was gonna say, how they gonna do that?
Yeah, you know, they said in the email that they were going to, after they present the legislative information, they're gonna ask us to submit, they're gonna send us something to submit back to them after the meeting. So I'm wondering if maybe that's how they're gonna do the vote. I don't know, they haven't told us, so.
Do we know about Nashville and ARPA land? Is that still very shaky or
We don't know
conventional?
anything about the fall meeting yet.
And I guess it's gonna be up to the governor if he's gonna discourage gatherings.
Right.
And he probably will, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
large gathering, but, we haven't heard. And we haven't had to make reservations, have we, Julie? No,
We did the original, but we thought finalize everything.
I talked to Tammy one day this week, and she did say that the two of us would be given a chance to make a short presentation about why we think we should be. So,
Carol, you talk to our people. You just bring a lot of good knowledge to the board. And I know Shelley Dodson is the lady from Scotch County that supposedly is going to run. She's a nice lady, and I'm not, wishing ill will for her, but I just want you to win, that's all.
I think we need somebody from this end of the.
It's they've had the people on top of the mountain that haven't represented for, probably about 8 years now. It's time to bring it back down to this end of the mountain. But good luck.
Thank you.
Don't forget that meeting's at 6 o'clock on your computer on Thursday. And then also next Monday is the foundation meeting. And it's the annual meeting we have with the Bradley County Board and the Cleveland City Board to get our information. And I don't believe on the agenda they're going to appoint any new members to their board of directors. But anyway, we get our annual update from Mrs. Bowles and President, I think is Vanessa Hammond still a president? Oh.
Is that virtual or in person, either one?
I think it's virtual or in person, and they just sent out the notice, but what if everybody shows up that one?
That's what I was wondering. That's why.
So I don't know, maybe we'll.
I know the foundation board was virtual or in person last week. I did virtual and I could hear fine. Well,
So 2 boards of education and their board,
Right.
21.
could be quite a few people, so.
Yeah, I don't know, Charlie. I'm probably gonna go over there because I have to chair, the chairs take turns. Last year, Mr. Weathers did it, and now it's my turn this year. So I'll just kind of go over there for that, but I'll ask Lynn what works for her. If that's a choice, or if she wants us all to just do virtual, I don't know. But that meeting, I think, is at 5:30, on Monday. They kind of fashioned it after what we used to get from 5:30. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? No, okay, Dr. Dyer, you have anything else?
I do not.
Good. Well then, with general consent, we will adjourn. Not have to do it.
Took pictures the other day, maybe January, we'll see. I think it depends on what happens with football here, if people try to start playing football. If that works, I think we'll be okay. I think it's good. Yeah, but we get around each other.
That's